Good morning and welcome to yet another side-by-side video. It is a spectacular Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Beautiful day. It's about 65 degrees, partly sunny skies. A perfect day to run some engines. So the engines I have today side by side are two Irvine engines. On this side here is my Irvine 40 something that was given to me by from a friend in Florida Floyd. And on this side is a loaner engine from Don, and this is his Irvine Q72 engine for an encore performance. Now I've already made 2 run videos of this, but a buddy of mine on YouTube, Harry, said, hey man, you got to run a 14.6 on this prop, and I didn't. I'd only run 13.6 and a 13.7. So now I've got a Master Airscrew 14.6 wood on here. The only other 14.6 prop I had was an APC, but the hole was hogged out so big that I was using it for some other bigger engine, and it just wouldn't have been good for this engine. I did have this engine all packed up and ready to go back to Don, but it's out now again for another run because this engine just is really awesome. Since I had it in the box, I took the high-speed needle out. So I'm going to have to retune this engine to get the high-speed setting right. And I've got just a small amount of 5% fuel in this tank. And I'm going to run this out to set it up to tune it. And then I'm going to put another tank of fuel in here. I've got CoolPower 10% that it loved before. And I'm going to run that on this, run another. So it'll be 2 runs basically with this engine. This Irvine 40 is one that, like I said, Floyd gave to me that was in bad shape, and I've numerous videos of this, how I cleaned it up and all this. This will be the first run after it's been cleaned up. I did not replace the bearings. They felt fine, and the reason I didn't replace them was because the amount of use I'm going to do for this engine, the bearings are fine. It's not going to be sold to anybody. It's not going to do anything but just stay with me for the rest of its existence and get pulled out when I feel like running it. But I don't know what this Irvine engine is. I thought it was a Sport 40 Mark II, but the review articles for the Sport 40 Mark II show that they're ringed engines, and this one is clearly an ABC engine after I had it cleaned up and got it all nice and shiny inside. It's very clearly an ABC engine, yet it doesn't have the Sport 40 Mark II case. So I don't know if this is kind of like a Duke Fox thing, where Irvine was just kind of putting engines together with spare parts or something, because it's not. I haven't seen anything that comes close to what the characteristics or features this one has, and I couldn't find a review article on it, but it was a kick-ass running engine before I did the cleaning. I don't expect anything different this time, but that's why we're here. This one is going to have the same APC 10.6 prop. I've got some other props. I might put an 11.8 on it, whatever else I've got in there on hand, just for the heck of it. So we may have 2 runs with this engine also. A tuning run with, and this tank has nothing in it at this moment, but it's going to have 10% CoolPower fuel in here. So I'm just going to run CoolPower because that's all I brought. And right now it looks like this is, I did install, so this has got an OS number 8 glow plug, but this is the counterfeit Chinese one that I bought. So hopefully that doesn't mean anything. Hopefully it still works fine. This one, the Irvine Q72, has an idle bar plug in it that came with it, so I got to take that thing out and either find another OS number 8 if I've got one with me. Otherwise, I know I've got 2 brand new Fox RC short plugs, which seem to be equivalent heat range to an OS number 8, and they seem to be really good plugs. So otherwise, that's what that's going to run. So I think I'm going to run this guy first, flip the stand, or run it a couple of times first, flip the stand, and then do a couple runs with this. So this could be a nice long video, or maybe I'll separate it into several videos. I don't know yet. We'll just have to see. Okay, take 2. Now, let's see if this thing will hand start. Go away. I don't need you in here. I don't have my starter here set up right now, so I'm hoping that this thing will just want to hand start, but we'll see. Shouldn't be a problem. It seems like it's willing to do this, provided I get it primed more. You know what, I think I'm going to try to put a little bit of tension on this throttle arm. It's a little bit loosey-goosey. After a rebuild, when there's a bunch of oil in the engine, it really needs a good prime. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and keep doing that. We're going to get the starter set up real quick and fire it up that way. I wonder if this Chinese glow plug. Well, that was a pretty good run there. I think what I'm going to do now is find a different prop to put on this thing, and we'll do another quick run. Okay, so the only other prop I had available with me here was an 11.8. Might be a little much for this engine, but we'll see. We'll see. That's the whole point of doing some of this stuff, is to experiment. did it feel like it was kind of loose in the... Oh, front head screws are coming loose on it. That's interesting. Okay, so I really love this engine. This engine really rocks, and it's a good engine. It runs really well, starts fine. You know, for my purposes on the test stand and how I've got my setup going, I know I could do a little bit different maybe, but the lack of a throttle stop screw kind of sucks only in my application. Obviously in an airplane you're not going to have that kind of an issue. But I mean, this engine runs really well, despite the fact that it was working loose here. Those screws came loose. That could also be the fact that there is no gasket on the front of this either. It didn't survive the cleaning, disassembly. I didn't order a new gasket. Not that I'm probably going to, because I don't care if it leaks a little bit here. But I mean, this is a very nice, strong running engine. And to hit 9,200 with an 11.8 prop, that's pretty darn good. So anyway, hope you enjoyed watching this Irvine 40 something ABC engine run, because it sure was fun to run. Okay, so here's the Irvine Q72 powerhouse engine with a little bit of 5% remaining fuel. What I ended up doing was I just took the plug from the Irvine 40, the Chinese counterfeit OS number 8 plug, and put it on here. So we'll just see how that does. Again, I'm going to have to retune a high-speed needle for peak performance, run this tank out, and then put some CoolPower in there and see what happens. Not primed enough? Thought I could potentially hand start this. Maybe it doesn't want to hand start today. I don't know that it ever hand started though. Yeah, the hell with that. I'm not doing that. Okay, we've got that dialed in. Instead of running this tank out, I'm just going to swap tanks and do another quick run with the 10%. CoolPower and see how it likes that. Okay, I've swapped tanks, same prop, same plug, different fuel. Not changing the needle valve settings. I think I got a peak on here of 8940 still from that last run with the 5%. Hopefully that thing will turn off and zero out here, and we can get some fresh numbers. This Irvine Q72 engine really kicks ass. I said that the first two videos I made with it, and I'm saying it again. This is one incredible engine. 14.6 prop, granted it's a wood prop, turning over 9,000 RPM. Wow. So I think that was probably one of the best comparisons I've ever done, and it was an unintentional comparison actually, between 5% nitromethane and 10% nitromethane fuel. The pink stuff was probably about 5% nitro, and I think I saw that with this exact same needle valve setting, peaked out at like 8490. And this I think I saw over 9,000. It might have been, before the meter shut off, there might have been a little bit higher than what was on there then, but it was over 9,000. So we're talking a 500 RPM increase between 5% and 10% fuel. I didn't want to tweak this thing out any more than that just because it's not my engine, but damn, this is a really great engine, and it's unfortunate that they're just so rare, so unavailable. But those of you that have these things, cherish them, because it's a really fine engine. It's probably it is the best Irvine engine I've ever run. I mean, my little Mark, my 40, whatever the hell that thing is a nice running engine, is a nice engine. But this is hands and above that, quite a bit above that. This is a really sweet engine. Just, I don't know how much more I can say about it. And that's all with that stupid ass Chinese counterfeit glow plug in there too. Imagine if it had a real glow plug in it, how it might work. But nothing but smiles here. So Harry, thank you very much for encouraging me to run this again with a 14.6 prop. And Don, thank you very much for allowing me to run your engine, because it's been a complete pleasure to do. It's just nothing but smiles with this thing. You've got one hell of a nice engine here, and I'll get it back to you, and you can enjoy it then. Thank you all for watching.